Hey there, and it would be interesting to hear what you think about this whole Israel-Iran quote-unquote war or attack, now that, of course, Iran was attacked. But with me, I have a video of the proceedings of the Congress, just to see how different senators are reacting. And I'm going through it, sharing my feeling about it. You can also tell us what you think in the comments section. Or, yeah, let's see.
I'm hoping we can start where we may have common ground. No war in Iran. In 2016, President Trump was one of the few people on the Republican stage to have the guts to say that George W. Bush's war in Iraq was an utter disaster. He promised the American people no endless wars. Tucker Carlson has said that thousands of Americans will die if there's a war in Iran. And he is cautioning that currently neocons are trying to get President Trump into a war in Iran. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has said the American people don't want to bomb Iran.
So basically it's the Congress sitting, and this is Senator Mr. Kansa, I think that's how they pronounce his name, and they were all questioning the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, on what the feeling and the stand of the U.S. Of course, Trump now has said they need to get an agreement or they will see the worst, meaning he's for the war. And if Israel and Iran can't sort it out, then maybe America, as the big brother that has always been, will come out guns blazing and do the worst. Has been his reaction.
Assure the American people and the MAGA movement that you will not bomb Iran unless we are hit.
Congressman, it's good to hear you quoting conservatives.
When they're right, I quote them.
I will tell you this, the President has been earnestly and completely committed to a peace process.
Of course, the Congress members were questioning just to understand why or if America wants to be interested in this war, and two, why they would be interested and it doesn't concern them, so according to some of the members. So, of course, the Secretary of Defense is trying to share the side or the stand of America. Some of the members are convinced that America is just trying to push itself into a war that does not concern them. Others feel they are spending so much money and there is no return on investment. And they are questioning why America would put all that money into something that doesn't concern them.
In Iran, every opportunity, those talks ongoing, but he also fully recognizes the threat that Iran with a nuclear weapon would exist.
Will you commit to us not bombing them? I mean, that's what the conservative MAGA movement is calling for it online. You'll see. I mean, they want a commitment that we not bomb Iran unless we're directly hit.
And you see, the members are saying, if we are not directly affected, can we then get commitment from the Make America Great Again team and the presidency, of course, that we're not putting ourselves in it. But the Secretary of Defense could not put his words outright and say, no, we are not putting into this, we're not getting into this war. He played cold, lukewarm, like, yeah, we're in, the president is. Very interesting.
Forum, it wouldn't be prudent for me to commit or not to commit. My job is to be postured and prepared in the region, just as the chairman.
How about this?
Any potential capability.
Would you agree with this analysis that Netanyahu is itching for a fight? If Netanyahu uses American missiles...
I agree with Mr. Kanna that Netanyahu is actually just war ready, like he's ready for war, and he wants to use, you see the statement he gave earlier about them and the war coming closer to America, like he's just using these things to try and show why America should be part of it. But if you look at it according to Congress members, they don't feel like America should be involved unless they are targeted. And by all means, Iran hasn't targeted the U.S. So why would the U.S. want to put in so many resources to support Netanyahu, who has been, on the other hand, killing people in Palestine?
Missiles to hit Iran, he's going to drag us into a war there because Iran's going to say they're using American missiles. Our military knows that you cannot, just through hits, eliminate Iran's nuclear capability. They'll simply go underground, and they will then end monitoring. And unlike Iraq, they're in heavily civilian sites.
I love the way Mr. Kana is very specific in saying, if we go into this, of course, Iran knows, and the world generally knows, that some of these missiles used by Israel are actually the bigger support of their army or military comes from America. So if they engage, then Iran will not hesitate to, prove a point also and move out and get into full war.
Will you stand up today and make it clear to Netanyahu that escalation, what he's threatening just yesterday, is not in the American interest, that he should not be dragging America into war with Iran?
Well, Congressman, that question included a lot of speculation. What I know is that Bibi Netanyahu is going to put his country first, and we're going to put our country first, and we're positioned properly in the region to ensure that we're prepared for any potential contingency.
Are you concerned about his escalation into Iran, and will you assure the American people you're going to do everything possible to keep us out of a war in Iran?
We remain, as the President has said, committed to creating the conditions for peace, creating the conditions for talks where...
Secretary of Defense does not want to make any commitment that America will not, get themselves in this war. And it's very interesting that the question is straightforward, but the guy just says, oh, we will protect ourselves, we'll ensure we are ready. The question of escalation, he does not want to answer. So you can really tell if you're reading that America really wants to be part of this somehow, or doesn't want to call out Netanyahu straight up. So it's something suspect, and I think the world should see these leaders for what they are.
Where Iran does not have the ability to develop a nuclear weapon.
Very questionable. And remember when Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois questioned the issue of America spending and putting in a lot of money on the other wars. For instance, they quoted the Russia-Ukraine, the support for Ukraine. And the question was, why are we spending so much funding these people, yet our return on investment is minimal or nothing at all? And the Secretary of State couldn't, answer as to why. He was also asked by the Senator of Hawaii, Brian Schatz. So if we continue on this, is there a danger of invasion for America? And he did not have any concrete answer. All he played around was, we are prepared, our military is set, we have the equipment, we have everything that can take care of America. But the issue of them getting involved in wars that don't concern them, he did not want to answer on that. Something very interesting he was also asked during that Congress sitting was on the issue of the Russia-Ukraine war. And then when the question came and he was asked, so who's the aggressor in this whole thing? Straight up, he mentioned it was Russia. And the question was, then why do we have to put in our resources to a country, yet we do not get the peace commitment to 100%. We do not have our return on investment on Ukraine funding. Really kept going round saying even Trump knows that, even Putin knows that Trump is strong. And the whole conversation ended up with him raising issues of how European Union should put in more money so they're able to fund other countries. But the question, of course, many ask is, why would they then want so much funding just to go fund war that does not benefit the US? For what value? Very interesting. And I like the way Congress members really pushed and questioned the Secretary of Defense, because now we have an idea of what America is pushing for, and we can see why this is being done. So when we see Netanyahu speak so strong, then we understand what is happening behind the scenes. You tell us in the comments section what you think about this whole happening, and also what you think will stem out of this in both the Russia-Ukraine and now Israel-Iran war. Thank you for watching. The world is fast-paced and sometimes you miss the action. What perspectives do you have? What is the truth? Is the world at war? Join me, Sarah Mwangi, as we make sense of the information overload.